Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex topics, really get into the details you need to be properly informed. Today we're focusing on a public figure who's often, let's say, right in the eye of the storm, navigating some pretty intense political and social currents. This deep dive, it's a chance to look beyond the headlines, understand the person behind them. We're diving into a real extensive interview with Israeli Minister Mai Golan. Our main source is a detailed transcript of a recent, pretty wide-ranging conversation she had. Oh, and importantly, we have a pronunciation guide for her first name.
Yes, that's key.
It's Mai, pronounced just like the word Mai. So, Mai Golan.
Got it, Mai.
Our goal here is to unpack her views on some very contentious political and social issues, how she responds to personal allegations, her vision. Basically, give you a shortcut to understanding the whole complex discussion around.
Exactly. And it's not just about the news cycle, is it?
No.
It's more about synthesizing how one individual, handles immense pressure, controversy, while also trying to actually get policy work done.
It's that intersection of the personal and the political.
Right. A study in resilience, communication under fire, really.
Okay, so let's start there. We've clarified the name, Mai Golan. Let's jump into a major controversy from the end. It involves artists and, societal division.
Yes, the directive.
Exactly. She told her Ministry of Social Equality to basically cease all future engagement with artists who'd signed a letter criticizing her.
Which is a pretty strong move.
It is. And it's not just about her policy. It touches on that bigger question, about political figures using state power against cultural opposition, especially during conflict. Where are the lines?
Well, her justification was quite direct in the interview.
What did she say?
She believes these artists, and this is her perspective, presume to understand what is happening in Gaza and what our heroic and holy soldiers are going through.
So questioning their understanding?
And their experience. She specifically said she doesn't recall them going into tunnels or fighting in the sukkahs, those makeshift shelters soldiers use.
Right, so drawing a clear line, you weren't there.
Pretty much. Then she brought up the counter-argument about conditions in Gaza.
The starvation campaign point.
Yes, she called it an invented starvation campaign.
Yeah.
She argued the only people starved are the 50 Israeli hostages held.
And she gave examples.
She mentioned horrifying videos, she said, of Eviatar David, Ram Breslas, as examples of starved Jews, and lamented that the Red Cross wasn't reaching.
So using the hostages' plight to directly counter criticism about Gaza, that's a common theme in Israeli discourse.
Very much so. And her language about the artists themselves was quite pointed.
How so?
She called them has-beens, basically creating hype, linked them to Kaplan campaigns, those are the protest movements often critical of the government.
Okay.
Said they slander Israel alongside anti-Semites abroad, even accused them of calling the prime minister a murderer.
Wow, strong words.
And she didn't stop there. She called for other government ministries to do the same, to cut ties.
Really? What?
She framed it as necessary for social and cultural governance. Her reasoning: it cannot be that we are on social media all day angry, sort of trying to enforce a unified front.
Interesting. Controlling the narrative, maybe.
Potentially. She also claimed the artist's petition specifically hurt many bereaved families.
Bringing in the families of fallen soldiers.
Yes, arguing that soldier sacrifices are what allow these artists the privilege to perform their shows.
Okay, so let's pause here. For you listening, what does this whole incident, the strong stance from Minister Golan, really show?
Yeah, how does it reflect those deep cultural, political divides? And what does it say about how we see the role of artists and politicians in times of conflict? Big question.
Definitely. Okay, so we've seen how she confronts public critic. Now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the pressure she faces personally, the allegations, the investigations against her.
Right, including accusations about requesting large sums of money. This clearly came up in the interview.
And how does she respond? What's her defense?
It's quite striking, actually. She frames it all as part of a much broader persecution.
Persecution.
Against whom?
Targeting officials, says, from the big to the small. She connects her situation to high-profile cases against the prime minister.
Like which ones?
She mentioned the pistachio ice cream thing.
Oh, right, the spending thing.
And the more serious Bas Banham and submarines cases, those corruption allegations. She also named others, like Yontan Orek, former PM advisor, Molim, a police commissioner, Kobi Yacobi, a prison commissioner.
So she sees a pattern, a systemic thing against officials like...
That's her narrative. She specifically drew a parallel with the Miri Regev case, another prominent politician.
What was the parallel?
She claimed that an hour after it was announced, there was no infrastructure for allegations against Regev. Suddenly, Regev was framed for bribery, fraud, and breach of trust.
Wow, that's a strong claim.
She even mentioned a journalist allegedly implying Regev's decisions caused traffic death. So she sees these attacks as escalating, maybe unfair.
And her own defense about the money allegation.
A very firm denial. Said she hasn't taken a single shekel. She positioned her entry into politics as coming from holy work, a true mission to serve the people of Israel.
Emphasizing integrity, mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It also raises that question of self-identity under fire. How does she describe herself in all this? She calls herself a loud voice, very right-wing, and clearly feels presumably her critics want to silence her.
Okay. But does she seem worried for herself?
Interestingly, no. She actually said, I eat them for breakfast.
Huh.
Her main concern, she stressed, is for her team, her wonderful professional team at the Ministry of Social Equality.
Why them?
Because, she argues, all their positive work, she mentioned programs for women, the disabled Holocaust survivors, gets completely ignored by what she calls venomous and vile channels.
So the work suffers because of the attacks on her.
That's her. It shows the collateral damage, maybe the psychological toll when officials feel targeted. They worry about their staff, the actual mission.
And she had a message for her critics.
Oh, yeah. Very direct. Quote, "You will not scare me. You will not deter me. You will not thwart me, nor this right-wing government chosen by," and this is her phrase, "the majority of sane people."
Sane people. That's loaded language. Really underscores the divide.
Definitely. She clearly believes the public, as she put it, is not stupid, doesn't buy the consciousness induction, her term, from certain media outlets.
Which ones did she name?
She referred to Fake 12 and Fake 13. Those are colloquial, often critical names for channels 12 and 13 news.
Right. The major Israeli channel.
And also Al Jazeera and Al-Manar, grouping them together.
Okay, so bringing it back to you, the listener, think about the challenges here. If you're a public official feeling targeted like this, facing persistent allegations, how do you stay focused? How do you keep your resolve amidst that kind of media storm?
It's a tough balancing act.
For sure. Now, moving beyond just domestic politics, Minister Golan also plays a significant role in Israel's image abroad. Hasbara, public...
Yes, and she highlighted her interview with Piers Morgan as an example. Described him as one of the toughest interviewers in the world.
And what was the focus there? The substance or...
Well, that's what's interesting. According to her, her critics, especially, she said, from the left, didn't engage with her message. They focused on her English skill.
Really? Her English?
Yes. She perceived it as... race. She quoted what she felt was the underlying sentiment. How does that Eastern barbarian from South Tel Aviv know English? This is a privilege reserved only for them.
Wow. That's quite an accusation about the criticism, turning political attacks into something very personal, even prejudiced.
It really shows how nasty things can get, reverting from the actual points.
And what does she see as her broader mission in this Hasbara?
Defending Israel's fundamental, especially against accusations of harming civilians. She linked these accusations back to the capital.
The protests.
And figures like Yair Golan, another politician, a former general, who she claims says the IDF kills babies as a hobby.
Very harsh claims she's attributing.
Extremely. And she made another really painful assertion. She said that while global anti-Semitism is rising, the real anti-Semitism is here.
Meaning inside Israel itself.
That's what she asserted. A deeply unsettling comment about internal Israeli divisions.
It really is. And speaking of internal politics, she had some strong words for Yair Lapid, the opposition leader.
Oh, yes. Very strong. Called him a chauvinist, pathetic soul, and the main cause of incitement against the prime minister and his family.
Incitement is a serious charge.
Extremely serious. She went further, accusing Lapid's words of directly inciting murder against the prime minister.
Oh, that's a grave accusation.
She stated flatly that a disaster will happen and that the media would shield Lapid from any accountability. It highlights the sheer level of polarization, the danger perceived in political rhetoric right now.
So, again, for you listeners, how do these things intersect? These personal attacks, the claims of incitement, the high-stakes game of public diplomacy. How does it all shape the narratives we hear, the public perception in such a charged environment?
Every word seems amplified, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, now let's try to end our deep dive on a slightly different note. Let's shift to something positive, an initiative from her ministry that Minister Golan highlighted.
Right, the Leadership Homes for Women project.
Yes. This gives us another view, maybe, of her public service. What is this project?
Well, it's quite concrete. The Ministry of Social Equality is setting up 42 of these homes across Israel.
42? That's substantial.
And plans for dozens more. It's backed by over 10 million shekels, so it's a serious investment.
Okay, and what's the goal? What do these homes...
The stated objective is give women tools for the political social arena, develop leadership skills, impact future generations.
Tools like what?
She mentioned things like practical skills, training, policy advocacy, media engagement, public speak, strategic planning, basically equipping women to be more effective in local and national politics.
So fostering a new generation of female leaders?
That seems to be the aim, empowering them to drive change in their own communities.
Did she mention who's running it?
Yes. She specifically commended Mirav Stern, called her the amazing ethical CEO of the Authority for the Advancement of Women's Status, who's leading this initiative.
It's good to see specific people getting credit for driving change on the ground.
Absolutely. It shows how policy goals can translate into actual progress.
So for you, the listener, what does a project like this reveal? It shows concrete efforts for social equality, for women's empowerment, right there in there.
Exactly. And it adds another layer to understanding Minister Golan's public service. It's a glimpse beyond the controversy into the practical policy work her ministry is trying to achieve.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear, isn't it? Minister Golan's interview gives us this crucial window
Into the intense pressures, the personal beliefs, the specific policy work, everything that defines being a public servant in such a highly charged place. We've seen her handle allegations, defend policies fiercely, but also champion social projects.
And it really underscores the complexity, doesn't it? When we assess public figures, you can't just look at one incident, one accusation.
No.
You really have to try and grasp the broader context, the daily challenges, the multiple hats they wear, policy defender, social advocate, international spokesperson. It's a lot.
It absolutely. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In this age we live in, with constant scrutiny, polarized narratives everywhere, how do we as people trying to stay informed actually tell the difference?
Yeah, the difference between genuine public service and, the political theater that so often surrounds it.
Exactly. What's our responsibility in seeking out the full picture? Looking beyond just the headlines, the sound bites, the accusations, to really understand the motivations and the impact of people in public life.
Something to think about.